So welcome back to our test piece. If you haven't seen this before, I'll link the video of its first appearance up here, where I show you how to permanently bake fuzzy skin into your STL files. And this is fairly easy. It's an ellipse extruded, split in two, and it has a little gap here. What we need this time is we need an offset of this surface that we want to put the texture on. So select the surface offset tool here, and we'll choose 0 millimeter distance because we're basically just copying the surface. We will export this via right click on the body, save as mesh, and that will give us the refinement settings here, which is what we're gonna need. Click on preview here and it'll show us the triangulation, and we need a way higher resolution than that, and 0.2 here for the maximum edge length works really well. You can see higher resolution, the mesh, and we'll do that in Fusion instead of Blender. That just worked better for me. If it works for you in Blender, then you can also do that. But we'll just hit OK and save that as grip surface. And we will also, wait a second, I need to check if this is one body. Yeah, we will right click, save as mesh, the main body here as well, but that we just set to high. We can check the preview here. That doesn't need to be very high res. Okay. And that's basically all we need to do in Fusion. Let's jump into Blender. So welcome to Blender. The routine here is hit A and delete because we don't need any of the default items here. And then we will just drag our main body and the grip surface STL in here and import as STL. And again, we have to pay attention that our forward axis in Fusion is X and the up axis is Y. And that'll be right in our face again, but that's not a problem here. So we can hide the main body for now by hitting tab. We can see how dense the mesh is. That's nice. What we need to do here is add a modifier, and that will be under deform and displace. And you just saw that this jumped, and we need to set this mid level here to 1 so it'll keep its shape. And the strength we'll play with in a second, because we need to add a new texture here. And we can either jump to the texture tab with this button, or we can go to that down here, texture properties. And this time we're gonna select an image. And ooh, that doesn't look good, or well, it looks halfway good from this angle. What we need to do is we need to UV unwrap this. So select the part, go to UV editing, whoop, zoom that into center. And this is already in edit mode. If it looks like this, again, you hit tab, hit A to select all, go to UV and unwrap conformal. That'll take a second, and here's your unwrapped. And now we hit tab again. It still didn't do anything, but yeah, well, we didn't do anything. Go back to layout here and to modifiers tab, and coordinates we pick UV, and that'll look better. It's kind of big, but we'll get to that. If you have several UV maps, you can pick one here, but there's only one, so that's not a problem. Now what we gotta do, we gotta go back to UV editing. It should be in edit mode. Again, if it's not, just hit tab and then hit A, and it'll show the unwrapped UV map here. And what we need to do here is we open the same image. Here's a little drop down. We select dots, and you can see here's your problem. It's way too big in scale. So go into this window, the left one, hit A, it'll select all, and hit scale, and then drag on that white ring, and that'll scale it up. Unfortunately, you can't really see much while you're doing this, so then click somewhere, hit tab, and you can see it got better, but it's not what we want yet maybe. So hit A again, A here again, scale even bigger, tab. Okay, still not what we want. I couldn't find a better way of doing this. If you know a better way, please let me know. There must be. So this is good enough for now. Let's go back to the layout and we'll play with the strength here. Usually 0.5 is actually a good value for this. And I'll just keep this like that. So you can see 0.2 will make this a bit less, but 0.5 tends to be a good value. One thing we'll add here now is another modifier to thicken that under Generate, Solidify. And depending what your scale is here, I had to pick 1 meter, which of course is bullshit, but I'll just go with the Blender flow. This looks a bit janky here, but well, 3D printing will take care of that. And now all we need is the main body here. And yeah, make sure that it doesn't protrude, because if we would set this displace modifier to 1, then you'd see the main body here poking through. So we put this back to 0.5. So this is values that you have to play with yourself, also depending on your scenario, whatever you're building. So the last modifier here will be Boolean. Pick union and also pick manifold. That will create a closed body, and then pick the eyedropper tool and select the main body. That worked. We'll hide that main body again now. Select the whole thing, go to File, Export, STL. Selection only. Apply modifiers is extremely important here, so it will apply all the modifiers. And we will call that dotted test 1, export STL, and you're done. Let's jump into the slicer. So here's our part in the slicer, and when we slice this, we can see how it's going to look after printing. And this is a 0.2 millimeter layer height. You could, of course, print this much finer, but that'll do. That will be visible enough. And we'll print it like that. And I can also show you some other versions that I made. Some knurling pattern or some stripes here. Let me show you how I actually did these, all of these. Because slicing and printing, that's the easy part, but getting these textures, that's a different story. So what you need is called a displacement map. And you can find these either on something like Superhive, formerly known as Blender Market. And you can either buy these, download these, or find them for free somewhere, or you can make them yourself. I'm using Affinity here, but you can use anything that can output pixel graphics and can generate gradients, because that's what we need. The darker the color, the more depth it'll create, and you need square tiles. And to get like a diagonal look on these dots, you need to copy and place them directly on the corner. So it will be able to infinitely repeat this in X and Y direction. Same you can do with stripes here. Only thing you need to pay attention to is that you have the same distance here as a gap, then these lines are wide so that it can infinitely repeat in both axes. Here I did this knurling pattern. This is also a gradient, and you can already see how it will look. I will upload all these together with the Fusion file so you can play around with them. So to change the texture on here, or rather the displacement map, just go to the displacement modifier here, and you can see this is called texture. We could just call this dots, and then we copy that one with this button, new texture, and we go down to texture properties tab here, and we select another image. Unfortunately, that has been crashing for me, so maybe we need to delete the other modifiers or something. I'll investigate. So we'll try this again, and we'll delete the boolean and try if that's already good enough maybe. So let's call this texture dots, copy that, and let's call that lines, and go to the texture properties tab. This is already called lines. It still has the dots image referenced here, so let's just open that up. We'll pick the lines here. Oh, that's actually the knurling pattern. That's rather nice, but also rather a bit dense. Let's go to the UV editing. It's all selected already, and we just need to scale this down a bit. Hit tab. Okay, that's better. Maybe still tab A, still a bit smaller. Yeah, that kind of works. What you can also do, of course, here is hit tab A and A again here in this window, and you rotate that, and then hit tab again, and so the knurling is at a different angle. I haven't found a great way of controlling this a bit better. This is a bit hit or miss, trial and error, whatever you want to call it. But the result speaks for itself. So if you have a better way, please let me know. And that's basically it. As mentioned, I will upload the CAD files and the displacement maps to my Cults 3D. You'll find the link down below. And I hope this helps you, this works for you, and let me know if it didn't or if it did. And thanks for watching. Let me introduce you to Werk, the sponsor of today's video. Based in Copenhagen, Werk is a contemporary kitchenware company dedicated to developing honest and high quality tools for everyday use. Follow the link in the description or go to werk.com and sign up for the newsletter to get 10% off your first order.